Dear Diary, when I envision Africa, I witness nations assembling from all over the continent, a place of peace and joy.
Hello, my name is Direlo Molutlehi, the Princess of the Royal Bafokeng Nation. Today in my diary, we're going to be visiting the Northwest Province, my birthplace. We're going to be looking at the different aspects of a helicopter machine and what it can do. From there, we'll travel to the Pilanesberg National Park, where we're going to dart an elephant. After that, we're going to be meeting the interesting people of the Northwest Province.
I was born to soar with the grace from God and the ingenuity of the right boys. But before liberation comes, a safety check from tail to nose.
Safety check's been done, ready to go.
Few things compare with the liftoff, the perfect convention between sheer power and total control, the buzz created by the notorious echoes as we take to the skies. Today I'm transported back to my roots. I hail from the scenic Northwest Province and the kingdom of the Royal Bafokeng Nation, the people of the Jew. As the panoramas rise up to meet me, so too does my emotions. According to the oral tradition, the Bafokeng came upon Phokeng, where the valleys amongst the hills captured heavy overnight dew. In honor of the land, they took the name Bafokeng, literally meaning people of the Jew. Unknown to us until 1925 was the fact that our farms were located on the Merensky Reef. This outcrop is rich in an alphabet of minerals ranging from asbestos to vanadium, the most important of which is platinum. The kingdom currently spans 44 farms, extends over 70,000 hectares, and is subdivided into 72 traditional wards.
We've just landed in Phokeng and we're at the Royal Bafokeng Sports Palace, and I'm joined here today with John Bassie, who was flying with us from Van der Boom Airport, and we're going to just be chatting about the Jet Ranger.
This is the battery of the helicopter, and it's disconnected at the moment because we're not flying, and it's just a precaution so that the battery doesn't discharge or drain itself. And basically this is like the most crucial part of any aeroplane or helicopter or vehicle, because without this you won't be able to start the engine.
So what do you do in the air when this battery fails?
If something happened in flight, two things that can happen. Your generator will fail, which will stop charging the battery, and then you've got a warning light that comes on, and then you know that you must land within, say, a reasonable time, an hour or so. Helicopters have a very unique problem, that the blade develops something called torque. When it turns in one direction, then the rest of the helicopter tries to turn in the opposite direction.
Okay.
It's like if anyone's ever played with an angle grinder, and when you turn an angle grinder on and the blade starts turning, it kicks. It's called torque.
Okay.
And basically this blade counteracts and balances the effect of the torque through pilot input on the pedals to keep the body of the helicopter straight.
The arriving chopper soon attracted the children from the Lebone II Independent School, and they were eager to share the nation's 2020 vision.
Vision 2020! I, Indratia's intention for our important vision is sacrifice to become self-sufficient. Incredible impact the Bafokeng Nation will make upon the world. 2020, everybody listen carefully. We have exactly 15 years in which to make our vision a reality.
Vision 2020 aims to foster sustainable development by the second decade. Mr. Matume Modipa heads the economic board.
Let's start with the understanding of what Vision 2020 is all about. It seeks to ensure that every Mufukeng, by that year, 2020, they should be self-sustainable. If you are a business person, you need to be a good business individuals. For instance, the SMME, we want them to ensure that they apply business principles in developing their businesses so that they can grow those businesses. As they grow those businesses, we can begin to create employment for our people, which is an area that we want to make sure that it happens as soon as possible. But quality, it's important. 2010 is an international event, which from a country point of view brings a lot of economic spin-offs. We're talking of transport, we're talking of construction, we're talking of catering and tourism and so many aspects which this event is going to bring to the country. So we are in the process of ensuring that we can identify all of these services that may be needed by the event and beyond.
Now that we've learned what the Jet Ranger can do, I think we're going to go up and put it to action.
The revenue from mining is applied to build schools, roads, clinics, and other infrastructure, such as the Sports Palace. Almost the entire network has been planned, designed and funded by the Royal Bafokeng. Our next waypoint is the volcano that gave birth to a game reserve. The crater is the setting of a fascinating complex produced by volcanic eruptions some 1300 million years ago. Thanks to Operation Genesis, the largest game translocation ever, the park now has in excess of 7,000 animals, including the largest land mammal, the African elephant. And today, we are assisted with the darting of a young elephant cow.
The trunk of an elephant. People reckon there's about 100,000 different muscles in the trunk. 100,000 different muscle groups in the trunk, yeah. All working individually, but they're actually one unit. So it's a hell of a strong organ. It uses these two fingers to, you know, to do all its work, and it's actually very strong. It's much stronger than any of our hands. Now, everybody's always thinking that the elephant is cooling with its ear, but it's not entirely true. If you look at the skin of an elephant, it's almost like mountains and so on. So what actually happens, the surface area of the skin is increasing about 3 or 4 times its normal size. So all the water evaporates from a bigger surface, and that actually cools the elephant down. Of course, the ears play a big role, but the skin itself is actually also very important. Now, the way we check the heartbeat of an elephant is put your finger on this one. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
And then you just count it for 30 seconds, multiply by 2, and you know the heartbeat per minute. The ivory, I mean, it goes right to below the eye, so this tusk is actually ending about here.
What was the whole purpose of actually doing the dart out
Well,
here?
the main purpose is to get that radio collar on, or the cell phone collar on, and it enables these researchers to really do their job properly. They don't spend a week to find the elephant. It's going to be a short time, then they're with the elephant, and increase their time of observation. So it's a very, very good tool for research purposes, and that's basically the main reason.
Then I was graced with the potion to wake the behemoth. Raising the Titanic with a needle takes supervision and rehearsal.
Okay, now pull back first to see that the blood comes in. Okay, now you know you're in.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can inject. Otherwise, if you don't pull back, you're not sure, you could be underneath the skin, and then it affects our
Okay.
Okay, now you can pull out and block it with your finger.
Okay.
That's it.
The elephant is endowed with the first-rate memory chip. She's sure to retain some information. A blurred vision of me and the darn needle. As she staggered to her feet, she seemed to be taking names. It was time to clear the crime scene. Besides, we needed to investigate the creation of a new variety within the natural world, a new breed of scout. This is where we met up with Bernard, explorer, entrepreneur, and a vendor of game.
Tourism it has been a passion to me. I mean, my business is only about 3 years old, and I used to work for Northwest Parks and Tourism Board. So I saw this gap, and I said, wow, I wish one day I must own the business that I like, that I love, that I will spend my money, my time, and everything on it. So tourism is a passion to me. Of course, I mean, I've got to pay rent, I mean, at the end of the day, but it's a passion, and it's nice to talk to the people and all those things. After 7 months, I won the major award in London. It was called ITIA, which is Emerging Tourism Entrepreneur of the Year Award. So every tourist that visits this country, they want to see who is Mankwe Safari, and they all want to have a glimpse of Mankwe Safari. So that's how I grow. But I work around the clock to turn my market other way around, just in case something happened abroad, and then at least there's a fire burning in my company. So as I'm talking to you right now, it's 55 local, and then 45 international. The major hiccup is to get the capital to start your own business. That's number one. And the number two is the market, to get the market to run your own business. And number three, which is the crucial point, it's quality service. As long as you understand the difference between quantity and quality service, you can't go wrong. Because most people, they thought the tourists, when they come to Mankwe Safari or they come to the province, they do us a favor. It's exactly right, because the tourists can go anywhere. They can go to Mpumalanga, they can go to Africa. But the thing is, they come to Mankwe Safari, they come to this province because of the quality service. So I talk to my clients. So, you can spend millions on marketing, but, a words of mouth, it goes like a fire. It's like a chain. One tourist come here, and I make sure that I put 100% effort on that. And he or she goes back to say, wow, I went to this company. I tell you what, if you go to Northwest, make sure, you go for night drive or you go for bush pride. So it's a words of mouth. And show your face, the people appreciate, whenever they see you, and be optimistic, on everything you do. And the most important thing is the heritage drive. Because on a heritage drive, you go there, you look at the animal, and then I don't translate them on an eco term, but I do it on a cultural way to say the people living on the periphery of this game reserve, they took that animal as their totem animal. And I explain why. Because you've got to identify the niche market if you're a new entrepreneur in the business. So I've got no doubt that I'm just going to enhance my business and ultimately my country to be one of the unique tourist destinations in our country. Me and my business partner, then we did a business plan. And our business plan, we were in need of about 1.6 million rands. And I went to several financial institutions to get a loan, but I couldn't get even a cent because they said we were at risk. So they couldn't even give us a money. So I said to them, I sold everything I had. I sold my 3 cars and I sold my house, and my business partner did the same, just to raise 400,000 rand. Because you look at those vehicles, one of them is R500,000. Just to buy one of them is R500,000. I knew this was going to be a success, so we sold everything. If I had a wife by that time, I could have even sold my wife, because I mean I couldn't get even a cent. But now, you look, because if anything you do, as long as you got a positive and you are full of energy, you can't go wrong at all.
I admire dedicated entrepreneurs such as Bernard, who explores new frontiers for others to follow and develop the continent. Pilanesberg has survived ages of erosion and stands high above the surrounding bushveld plains. Unlike any other large park, unique overlaps of mammals, birds and vegetation occur because of this transition zone. The park ranks among the largest of the national parks in South Africa and covers an area of 55,000 hectares. Ivory Tree Game Lodge is situated in the northeastern region of the Pilanesberg Game Reserve. The closest point of entry is through Bakatla Gate. Nestled in the basin of an ancient amphitheatre, divided by riverine woodlands and elephant trails, lies an exclusive lodge development site.
Right now we're at the bar of Ivory Tree Game Lodge with Aberdina, and she is going to prepare for us an African sunset. African sunset. So we have the African sunset right now. Pity I can't take a sip because I'm going to be flying just now, but it does look very, very enticing. But thank you so much. Thank you.
The Bafokeng are originally Bakwena people and still honor the crocodile or Kwena as their totem. The totem was chosen to commemorate an event of great importance in our tribal history.
Well, I'm now standing in one of the rooms at the lodge, and I just want to ask you, Wayne, where did this, it's a beautiful, spectacular, where did the deco originate from?
Shirley Simon is the designer, and it's up to her, up to Shirley to keep it constant and current and up to date. And we simply said to Shirley, create for us, please, a room that would look appealing, attractive, mindful, of course, tightly constrained budgets, but make sure that it was a room that could stand the test of time. So she introduced several themes, and earth, wind, fire sort of themes. Yes. So all of the rooms will vary ever so slightly in terms of their color coordinations.
The 40 luxury suites are air-conditioned with full ensuite facilities, including spectacular vistas and outside showers.
Today we're going to prepare something very simple.
Okay.
It's easy, everybody can do it at home.
Great.
It's called a Mediterranean brinjal step. We take some eggplants, brinjals, we cut it, we put it in cold water and salt to take the bitterness away, so that when we grill it's going to be nice and sweet. So after an hour we take it out, we pat it dry. Normally what I do, I put it in flour, dry flour. It also helps to get a nice crispy surface.
Okay.
What we do, we're going to take it like that. Because we only need 3 per person.
Okay.
And we put it on a skillet like that. And once it's ready, it's going to
look like that. Okay.
As you can see, it's brown, it's cooked, it's soft, but yet it's not very soft.
Okay.
Mixed lettuce, all different kinds of lettuces. We'll put the spinach on top there. Then we're going to take the brinjal. We're going to stack it on top like that. Then we're going to pipe. In here, in the piping bag, we've taken, you can take cottage cheese smooth or coarse or chunky. I've taken just plain smooth cottage cheese. Put it in the piping bag. like to use the yellow pepper and the red pepper, not the green, because we've already got green, so we need our third color. Three color. Okay. Sorry. You stack it up like that. It's just sweet basil, which with pine kernels and olive oil, a little bit of garlic. If you find it's too thick, we add a little bit of olive oil just to make it more runny.
Okay.
It's a little bit too coarse. Some olive oil, guys. As you can see, it's a bit too thick. We want it a little bit more runny.
Smooth. Okay.
So we'll add olive oil. I like to use virgin olive oil. The better the product, because that's what we believe in. At Ivory Tree, we try to do the best product, best quality for our guests.
Okay. Are your meals like, is it buffet or do you also have a la carte?
Our meals, normally when it's more than 20 guests, we have a buffet, which we have an array of variety from starters, from fish, as well to different types of meat. If we know the guest is, say, for example, kosher or halal, then obviously we cater according to what they answer. What we do, let's add some olive oil in there. Right, it's easier. We do, and we throw a little bit like that on top, not too much, otherwise you're going to kill the flavor with too much garlic and pesto. Then we take the next one, we take a next like that, also on top like that, add a little bit more just to make it pretty, and like that. If you know it's a vegetarian, you can add an extra layer of brinjal. Thank you. And then just to add to the Pilanes or Pilanesberg, we take olive oil and Baltic vinegar, a nice combination of the two. And take a spoon like that and slowly we'll just drizzle over it. And you just drizzle a little around like that. And there you are.
It looks very good.
There you are.
So this will be served. I know, it looks lovely, even with the, you know, the little, it looks like a crown. What do you call it? A tiara. It tastes very good. It's delicious. Very nice.
And so this day comes to a close. Dear Diary, as I bundle my album of childhood memories together and journey back to Johannesburg.
In the next episode, I'm going to be taking you to Mossel Bay, where we're going to be doing cage diving and we're going to be looking at the great white shark. After that, we possibly could be tasting the delicious food of Mossel Bay and then meeting the diverse people in Mossel Bay.